Hello and welcome to Zimstate Media.
We are having our first press conference as a Department of Information in Bulawayo, and we are hoping that there will be many more of these press conferences coming up. Today is Unity Day, an important day in the calendar of Zimbabwe, because the two foundational parties of the modern state of Zimbabwe in the post-colonial era, ZAPU and ZANU, came together and became ZANU-pf. And out of this country avoided missteps which had happened, but which could have worsened to go the way other African countries went, particularly with the painful experience of our neighbors in Angola, and also the painful experiences which later visited our neighbors in Mozambique. Zimbabwe dodged a bullet because of that coming together. It may not be perfect, it's work in progress, but it showed that the foundations were strong and they come from a shared commitment to the freedom of Zimbabwe, which saw many thousands of youth from every part of this country go out in a diaspora to seek the capacity to master modern weapons and fight back, because we had lost in the 1890s militarily. We had to reverse the military loss in the 1890s militarily. And I'm here today with my comrades from former ZIPRA, who were combatants in the war, on a different program, but they felt it fit that they could still be here, and I want to thank them. They would have been doing anything else today, but they felt that they could come and listen to me. On behalf of our president, Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa, we had a meeting with him, with my comrade here, Comrade Mtanda, who everybody knows was very close to Father Zimbabwe and still close by family ties to Father Zimbabwe. His wife is the daughter of Father Zimbabwe. So, he's my friend as a businessman. He's my friend as a comrade. And he's my friend even as a family man. He's close to my wife. He's close to my children. We are here today. Why we came here with him is that we are business people. We are comrades who were in the struggle, but post-independent, both of us became businessmen. He has been a fairly successful businessman in the country, doing certain projects of major significance to the economy of Zimbabwe in the past, and still is. I've also been equally in business. The difference between us and the other business people is because we are comrades. We have always had 2 feet astride, one in politics, the other one in business, because we felt that we had an obligation to make sure that the business of this country eventually gets to where it also fulfills the aspirations of those who fought. And I'm very happy that in the Second Republic of President E.D. Mnangagwa, we have made remarkable progress in addressing the issues which matter to a national economy. Because people did not fight for a flag, for a party, for a leader. People fought for the prospect of prosperity. And in the last 5 to 6 years of the Second Republic, the economy has been dramatically transformed in ways which we never thought Zimbabwe could attain. So today, out of that economy, there are budding shoots, there are green shoots in that economy, which need to be tended so that that impetus by the president can be sustained. And it is where me and him are coming in, because we have been, as the advisors to the Second Republic, the main instigators of some of the biggest things which have happened to this economy. And what matters to an economy, I want to tell you, is its agriculture. You see now that we are the only African country which no longer grows only fancy crops like tobacco and cotton without food for the people of Africa. Normally Africa in the past, in colonial era, it grew all those fancy crops: cocoa, cotton, tobacco, sisal, for the European market, while South Africa was starving. Zimbabwe has changed that under President Idi Mnangagwa. We are no longer relying on the World Food Program. We are no longer every season to cross to the next growing season. This is a good thing for our economy. But what he has done more remarkable is in the structures which make a national economy be modern. And the most important commodity for that is called steel. Steel to a nation is what food is what diet is to human body. Without steel, a country cannot make it. Anything which goes beyond this floor needs steel to build anywhere in the whole world. So if a country can have a steel industry which is modern, its future is assured. So the president had to do it step by step. He was very strategic. He first had to revive the energy sector of Zimbabwe. And the energy sector of Zimbabwe is at Hwange. Hwange is where Zimbabwe's energy comes from. The cities, the town has come back again. We are exporting coking coal on the region. That's why the road is suffering because the railway is to come back. We are now generating a lot of power. There are many power stations which are coming up in Hwange. This is important. Energy is number one. Then the next thing which President then addressed after energy was the revival of the steel industry. And this is why we are here with Fred today. Why? Because when the whites wanted Zimbabwe, wanted Rhodesia to be strong, they gave it Risco. When they wanted Zimbabwe to be weak, they contrived to close Zisco. And the town which collapsed was Kwekwe, because that's where Zisco was. But by extension, the downstream town of Kwekwe, which used the raw steel from Kwekwe, Zisco, to produce rolling stock for the railway lines of Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, and DRC, was in Bulawayo. So there was no more raw material for Bulawayo when Kwekwe collapsed with the Zisco. And Bulawayo also collapsed. So a lot of the factories in Bulawayo became mothballed. They are there, they are shells. They are even now used for religious purposes, those factories in Bulawayo. But what the president has done is to give Zimbabwe another bite at the steel industry. And we now boast the most modern steel industry in sub-Saharan Africa. It has even caused the one from our neighboring country, South Africa, to bow in respect and start rationalizing by closing some of their steel product areas which are in competition to Zimbabwe, because we are comparatively better than South Africa, which is a good thing. And the president is now looking at complementing the two relationships. But Bulawayo is the missing player in this game, because Bulawayo's victories are not yet revived by the steel plant, which is Manise. And that's why we sat down with Fred, we went to the president, we went to the Minister of Finance, and we went to the Speaker of Parliament, and we went to the Secretary General of ZANU-pf. And we said we want to have a budget allocated to Bulawayo so that the factories in Bulawayo are revamped and refurbished to modern international standards, so that the reticulation water of Bulawayo is back, so that the railway sidings and roads which went to those factories are back. When we have done that, we then go to the world and tell them that Zimbabwe has got the best steel, same class as any we can find, because the company which is making steel at Manise is number 254 in the whole world as a company. It's top notch, it's number one. So the steel from Manise is as good as any, even sometimes better than that from Europe. So with that steel, we then come back to the town, which originally was the steel manufacturing town, producing rolling stock even for the railways I mentioned earlier on. So this whole undertaking, the president loves it. He knows that Bulawayo is going to have a second chance as a modern town which supplies world-class steel products made in Zimbabwe for the global market. This is where we are going with the Bulawayo. So for business people whom we are going to be inviting, we will tell them that your time to market, if you manufacture in Zimbabwe, is 6 to 12 months. If you go to any other country, it will be 40 to 60 months, because they don't have factories which are ready. They don't have a formal labor force which used to do steel, which can impart skills. but they also don't have the organizational discipline of Zimbabwean workers, who are the best in Africa in terms of skills and in terms of discipline at work. That's what we are going to sell to the world. And that's why me and Fred are in communion with the president about this vision about Bulawayo. And we are announcing it to you today on the day of unity in Zimbabwe, because whilst the president has been addressing all the historical issues, it's easier to address those historical issues if there is a material aspect of well-being which is being shown to the people who are victims, to the people who are marginalized, and to the people whose future as workers was shattered when the town closed. The president wants to restore that future into this town. So on Unity Day, this is the message. We met him yesterday, me and Fred. He's on leave. But when we said we are coming to see him, he says, "You are comrades in the war, we had no leave. Can you come and see me?" And we were at his private farm yesterday, me and Comrade Fred. He knows that we are here with you today, our president. He knows, and he is very happy that Comrade Fred and myself have reached out to what he said, my war comrades from the zebra side of substance, who are solid. That's the word which he used about you. He says, yes, you are addressing a solid constituency. He said so yesterday. So that's why we are here today on Unity Day, to say, the president says, let's unite, let's transform our divisions of the past into opportunities for the future. Let's modernize the economy of Zimbabwe to world-class standards. And what we sold him is why we are here today. Your president has been singularly dedicated for the past, I say, 15 years for the revival of the steel sector. I will write a book about what we went through to be where we are today. But he has succeeded in making Manise be modern. There's no way he can fail to make Bulawayo modern, because even the British are failing to have a modern steel industry revived in London. Today, the British government, our president, has done it. So steel makes everything possible. And let's give a pam-pam for our president, because it is what is going to make this town, Bulawayo, come back again. Yes, you are a town of culture, but culture comes at night when you are dancing after spending a day at work. If you don't have work in the morning, then culture is not complete. So the president wants to restore the vitality of Bulawayo as a modern steel town which supplies world-class steel goods made in Bulawayo for the regional and global market. Apana we want to be the best, and that's the aspiration. And I felt that today with this Unity Day, let me share these sentiments to young people of yesteryear who had vision, because what we are saying here is vision. You sold a vision, you defended it, and you won a country. Now we want to sell a vision to young people and deliver a modern African country on a scale which Africa has never done before. I remind you, steel to a nation is what food is to the human body. And the president has delivered the most important item on the diet of national development, which is steel. That, in short, is the reason why I'm here. I am also here because I'm from ZANU-pf. I'm the spokesperson of the party. This is a young man. Freedom. Yes. That's Freedom Murechu. He's a victorious young man. Yesterday he won an election, a by-election in Kulman. It's historic for our party that a young man rescues a seat from all the other opponents who are Zimbabweans, who are entitled squarely to be in that election. That's why it is an election. So it's a national competition, but he won yesterday. Congratulations. This is you. The president can sit down. The president belongs to a party. When his party wins, he also is very happy. And Comrade Fred congratulated the president yesterday about this victory. He was the first one to tell the president that, Comrade President, the things which you see about divisions among Zimbabweans and which are being amplified elsewhere, they don't exist. Look at how your policies are beginning to resonate with Bulawayo, because the town is beginning to see hope. So we are here to enforce that hope which the president is engendering, which makes us win an election after 2 decades of performing poorly in a difficult constituency in Bulawayo, which is in Nkulumane. So that ends my speech as the spokesperson of the party. There are some women comrades who are here. Yesterday, after we met the president, Comrade Fred says, I will not pass on my way to Harare when you said Comrade Monica, another comrade, my wife, Bari Kumunda. So we went Kumunda, kuzoona Comrade Monica. Vakafara zvokuti bheki kuti tabva kwapresident tiri vaviri vanhu vakarwa hondo yechimurenga. And he says, as the woman minister, your ministry of small to medium enterprise will be responsible to be part of this project yatiri kutaura naye, because the budget of that, some of it will have to be applied through a ministry, because what you are talking about are SME factories, small to medium enterprise factories. Ndo munofita vazhinji vatange vachipinda paproject. And we will be working with the ministry. She promised kuti vachanga vari kuno Bulawayo vachimeka sure kuti when the funds come from parliament, they shall be applied in a judicious manner, which will also factor in the women war veterans from the liberation struggle. She will be there. She has, everyone knows she has made so much strides since that ministry. It involves cooperatives and it involves small to medium enterprises. There is a lot which is going on in that ministry. It is beginning to attract funding. You may well know now that SMEDCO has got new funds from the Arab Development IFAD. There's new fund which has gone into SMEDCO from IFC, and the affiliate of the World Bank. So there is an activity going on about the SME sector, which dovetails exactly what that Comrade Wangwa Taura, that's where we are going to address the issues which you are raising through. You may address them through the budget, but in afraid, because we are business people, zvinhu zvinouya kune budget zvishoma, zvinhu zvinouya kana maita business zvakawanda. The factor of business is many times bigger than the budget. Saka isusu hatiwanzoda zvinhu zvinobatikana nekugovernment nekubudget. Tinoda zvinhu zvinoita kuti muve ma-entrepreneurs, because that's what we are, entrepreneurs. Inina Comrade Fred. Probably much more entrepreneurs than some of the people vachitaurwa mazuva ese. Hapana akambobudisa steel plant, hapana akambodzosa gold sector, hapana akambodzosa tobacco sector. Zvakabva kuma veterans kwatiri. We may not have benefited at personal level, but the country's economy is running on those 3 pillars: steel, gold, tobacco. This is the history of that. And Comrade Mnangagwa, your president, knows exactly the genesis of this. And I can challenge all the other business people who move forward kuti akanga arimo mune projects iwaende upi. Hapana. But they are the ones which are making this economy work today to be growing at 6%. And President Mnangagwa was at the center of those projects. The president is the best businessman in the country. Not from because he has created the foundations of an economy. The president is number one. No, I know I thank you.